bitch with an ass out. Boss man and I cash out. Talk to him. Smoking so much.
He got away like twice tonight, but even when he got away, you could tell that he wasn't getting away with an aspect of I'm going to get away and go get yards. He was getting away with the aspect of I'm just going to throw this ball and get rid of it because I'm a gimp and I can't go nowhere.
Yeah, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, he is not.
No,
he is not.
No,
he
no.
is very limited. Any team with a average to good pass rush is going to be a problem for the Atlanta Falcons this year.
Falcons Wrap Up, presented by the Two Live Stews. It's the after party after the game. Call in at 404-954-1021 and chop it up with Doug and Ryan about your Atlanta Falcons. The best of the Two Live Stews experience.
People want me talking about dating a celebrity. People want me to date Sexy Red. That shit ain't gonna happen.
Well, but real quick,
I would never even throw my darn line in the Sexy Red water.
Listen, if you're about the business of this show, and you can come up on Sexy Red, that would be huge for us.
Man, you crazy. I wouldn't put your penis in Sexy Red. I cleaned that up the best way I could.
God is good.
You gotta be
and
kidding
Lord, please
me.
forgive us. Lord, please forgive us.
God
is good all the time, and all the
kidding
time
me.
God is good. If you don't know him and need to find him and show him love, that's all he's showing you. Nothing but love. Yeah, man. If you got your pee-pee on these streets, man, you need to put it in something that's going to benefit the show. Straight up. Take one for the team.
Nah, that's not going to happen. I'll sexy your red.
The best of the Two Live Stews experience.
Hey, people, it's your boy Chubb Rock. There's a new sheriff in town, Southern Edge Beverage Company. And let me tell you, you better taste the edge. Watch this. Taste the edge. Sweet tea vodka, salted caramel whiskey will rock you. The taste is smooth and refreshing. Gluten-free, no harsh burn for the blessing. Make it neat. Have it on ice. Buy both bottles. Have it twice. Mix with your favorite fruit juice. Nice. Mix a liqueur combo. Hype. We're black owned. Yeah. Find us in Atlanta telephone. College Park. Check this bone. Sweet tea, vodka, fix your fam. Southern Edge Beverages, Instagram. Salted caramel whiskey on the edge. New sheriff in town, baby. Taste the edge. Southern Edge can be found in the following locations in the metro Atlanta area. Total Wine and More in Alpharetta. Camp Creek World of Beverages. Prohibition Liquor. Firewater Package. Crest Wine and Spirits. And Bim's Package Store. It's time to taste the edge. Southern Edge, baby.
We have our new advertising rate sheet available. The Two Live Stews have a current reach of 50,000 people.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Here's the big thing about it. If we advertise your business, you got to remember, this is pretty much forever. It's in perpetuity because these videos are streamed and you can watch it over and over and people can watch what we did 6 months ago and they're still going to see your advertisement. Okay?
It's
Constant. All right. So, internet-based or Atlanta-based businesses, just going to shoot you real. I mean, if you're an All right. Welcome to the Two Live Stews wrap-up. The Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. Game still going on right now. We're really not supposed to give commentary while a game is still live. I do remember that from doing radio. Thank you for joining your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the world-famous Two Live Stews, and the game is over. The game is over. The Falcons get it done 26-24. And they get a home victory. They get a victory against the New Orleans Saints, against the rivals. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining your boys. You can jump in the chat room and hit me on chat with your thoughts about the Atlanta Falcons getting a win, a tough win to say the least, as the New Orleans Saints had the game wrapped up, went up by a couple of points, by 1 point actually, with about 2 minutes left in the game. Falcons get the ball back, roll down the field and score a field goal. My boy Koo is just butter. I mean, he's just straight butter, just a fantastic kicker and deadly. That's a new record for him as he hits a 58-yarder to take the Falcons to victory. Once again, Falcons win 26-24 over the division rival, the New Orleans Saints. Were you at the game? What were your thoughts about this team? What were your thoughts about the game in general, about the highlights, some of the things we got to clean up as a Falcon fan? If you're new to the show, if you're just tuning in, you just happen to log in and get tied into this feed, my name is Doug Stewart, and I'm one half of the world-famous Two Live Stews, Atlanta, Georgia. So we talk sports, we talk pop culture, we do all of that stuff. We laugh, we joke, we have a good time. But we are based in Atlanta, and we did get our start in talking about sports and in Atlanta sports in general, in particular. And so we're always going to show some love to the home team. Happy that the Falcons get a win. Big, big win, because it looked like they were going to lose another one. If you've been a follower of this team for any amount of time, you know that the Falcons have a way of, the way we put it is falconing, okay? The Falcons have a way of falconing, and actually they get it done this time with a win over the New Orleans Saints. If you were at the game, if you were tailgating at the game at Mercedes-Benz, talk about the atmosphere, talk about the game. What are your thoughts about this game in particular that you'd like to get into? We're going to be here for about 50 minutes, 55 minutes at the top of the hour. Don't forget the Two Live Stews experience every Monday and Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Get this back a little bit. Every Monday and Thursday at 7 a.m. right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. All right. So once again, the Falcons get it done. Were you at the game? What are your thoughts about the game? They get a big win. I mean, no matter how close it was, at the end of the day, any coach would tell you this, any player would tell you this, a win is a win is a win. The Falcons go now to 2-2, 1-2 at home. They beat a division rival in the New Orleans Saints. Saints now go to 2-2, and they're 1-1 away on the road. Kirk Cousins, real nice day. You know, I give Kirk Cousins a lot of flack, man, but this guy is an accurate passer of the football. I can say that. Now, he still has some issues as far as his mobility, and I actually saw him tuck it and run one time today outside on the outside of the tackle. He got tackled in the backfield, but still showing a little bit more mobility week in and week out. That's going to be big because we're not going to have a team. The Saints really didn't put that much pressure on him today as much as some other teams will do going forward in the year. But it's good to see him get out of the pocket and kind of, use the legs. He's coming off the injury, so I think it's more so probably a situation where he's kind of hesitant of the Achilles heel injury that he sustained and just trying to be careful on it. So that's a mentality thing as well. So Falcons score on a fumble punt return. Big play in the game, very early in the game in the first quarter, and you're watching the Two Live Stews experience, the wrap-up show, the Falcons wrap-up show. What I don't understand is about that particular play, why the Saints return guy even tried to return the ball within the 10-yard line. Anybody that's ever played football, or watched a lot of football, they'll tell you that you're supposed to stand up at the 10-yard line, and if the ball goes over your head, let it go over your head. more than likely it's going to bounce in the end zone. Seems like I see a lot of people not doing that or adhering to that in football over these last couple of years. We had a pick thrown early in the game by Cousins as he was looking for Ray McLeod. Actually fell down, got an interception. The Saints got an interception on their side of the field. And another big takeaway from today's game, which also was kind of like, I hate to talk about somebody when they get hurt and a blessing in disguise, but somebody getting hurt was a blessing in disguise. Taysom Hill for the Saints, the Swiss Army knife guy, plays quarterback, wide receiver, running back. I believe he returns kicks. I don't know. This guy's all over the place. And he was shredding the Falcons in the first half. Absolutely shredding the Falcons in the first half, but sustains an injury towards the end of the first half. An abdominal injury, does not come back in the second half. If they have him, this probably would be a whole lot different, but they didn't, and the Falcons get a win. Once again, the Atlanta Falcons win 26-24, beating the New Orleans Saints. Let me read a couple of messages in the chat room. If you're just leaving Mercedes-Benz Stadium, what did you see? What was the atmosphere like? How was the reaction when Koo hits the final field goal to win the game, to actually go up? What are your thoughts? Falcons fans, what you got? Loose neck, freak offside. Thank you, Falcons. Saints fans been giving us Cowboy fans the blues. So he's talking about the fact that the Saints have pretty much dominated the Dallas Cowboys. He's a fan of the Cowboys, and we actually got a win against them today down at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Naughty Dread, come on for a second. So our producer, the great Naughty Dread, is joining me today. Born and bred in Atlanta, Georgia. What's your thoughts, man? Your team gets a big win, a much-needed win, What's your thoughts?
It's not my team, but
whoa, wait a minute. Back up.
I've said this 1,000 times already.
Wait a minute. Who's your team?
I told you I like Philly and Pittsburgh. Both of them struggling today. Baker Mayfield when they handle that business, but this ain't about Philly or Pittsburgh right now.
It's not. You're watching,
but I still watch the Falcons. You know, I still kind of support the Falcons, considering that they got a black general manager, a black head coach. You got a black quarterback sitting in the waiting. So we kind of need for the Falcons to have some success, so they can't say that we can't run a franchise from the top to the bottom.
You looking at the big picture.
I look at the big picture, right.
Absolutely. That's good stuff. So you're right. Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris get a win. I mean, and you're right. A lot of times for us, is somebody has to do it first. Somebody has to show an example or give an example of success. And we've had a lot of Tony Dungy was very successful as a black head coach in the NFL. A lot of other guys have had success, different levels of success. But you're right. Always rooting for the Falcons, obviously. And I want to get back to this question again about your support of teams you support. But Raheem Morris coming in, this is a second opportunity in Atlanta, Black City. So good. I'm always going to support the brothers trying to do big things and take us to the next level. So let me ask you, before you became an Eagle fan, and then we're going to read some messages in here. Before you became an Eagle fan, you were an Eagle fan because of McNabb. Let me guess. McNabb.
Mike Vick. Okay. Mike Vick went up there. Okay. Right.
So did you
root for fans all the way up until Mike Vick got locked up?
All right. That's the question I was going to ask you. That's the question I was going to ask you. So you basically more so a Vick fan than a Falcons fan.
Well, it opened my eyes up that these owners own these teams. These owners get to hide behind a team named the Falcons. No, it's Arthur Blanks.
Right.
The Cowboys. No, it's the Jerry Joneses. So if you support these owners and their political stances and things of that nature, then you can end up hurting your own community by endorsing somebody that's going against your community. So I just became a fan of players. I root for players. So wherever my favorite player or a guy I like, whatever team he plays for, then I'll tend to pull for that team.
Yeah. Alvin Kamara, running back for the New Orleans Saints, Atlanta-born, Atlanta-bred. Big game today. Actually carried our linebacker number 55, Caden Ellis, into the end zone for the final touchdown to put them over the top of the to put them ahead of the Falcons. And the Falcons come right back down and score a touchdown, and you go up and they win the game. So,
Right.
I mean, that's good. That's good. We get a win. That's good that the city gets a win. And we're kind of like rivals, not kind of. We are rivals.
Oh yeah. That's a hated rivalry. I still
Yeah.
hate the Saints because it's just grown. It's just been bred in me. I don't like the Cowboys and I don't like the Saints because I was a Falcon fan for so long. You know, I was under that same programming that a lot of people are under when they have a loyalty to a certain franchise.
Right.
You know, so
And
yeah,
it's crazy. I've never had a team when I was a kid. I never had a team that I quote unquote rooted for. Okay. And you know, part of it is because South Carolina, you know, they only showed what was on TV, and most of the time it was Dallas or Pittsburgh. Dallas fans were obnoxious even back in the mid 70s. They still are today. I couldn't get with them, and I don't know why I just didn't log or tie into the Steelers. So moved to Atlanta. Next year will be 30 years. I've talked about that a lot. So basically, I have adopted the Atlanta Falcons as my team, but it hurts with some of the stuff they do. I got to be honest with you. It's very hurtful to some of the stuff they do, some of the ways they lose games. Don't even talk about the Super Bowl.
Well,
no, we're not going to even get into that, but it's very hurtful to be a Falcons fan.
Well, but look at today, though. Today was reverse of fortune, sort of say. Usually the Falcons would lose a game like this, but today, you really look at it, the New Orleans Saints dominated the game. I mean, they had more passing yards than the Falcons, more rushing yards than the Falcons, more first downs than the Falcons. They were better on third down than the Falcons. They only allowed 1 sack, which the Falcons only allowed 1 sack. But at the end of the day, they had less penalties than the Falcons. The Falcons almost lost the game with penalties. They had 9 penalties for 76 yards. But the special team showed up for the Falcons. They had the pick 6, which was huge. And Younghoe Koo was amazing today. I mean, you even look at the time of possession. The Saints had the ball for 36 minutes to the Falcons 24 minutes. So the Saints actually dominated every aspect of the game, but the Falcons still end up winning. And usually in the past, the Falcons would lose a game where they were out-dominated by the other team.
Okay, so we're going to read some more of these messages from people leaving from the game, just finished watching the game. A couple of things I do want to mention, kind of tying into what you just said. Let's talk about the rushing, man. Bijan Robinson, 7 carries for 28 yards. Tyler Algier, man. And weekly, I think we come in here and I always talk about we need to give the ball to Robinson more because he's probably the most talented player on the team. But then I watch Algier, man, and he had this run where he basically carried like 5 dudes. I feel like you got to give him carries too.
You got to give him carries.
I hate to say that because I sound fickle. I sound like I can't make up my mind. But Algier is that dude. You got to give him the ball a couple of times a game at least.
You got to give him carries, but it's just as long as you can give Bijan touches. I mean, it can be catching the ball because he's a good receiver out the backfield. You give some touches, but Algier got to get his touches too because, man, he runs like a truck.
He runs like a truck, man. He runs like an absolute truck. From Rel Scott, he says, Thursday night, bring on the Buccaneers. Falcons have to do better on third and in the red zone. The Chief Rocker, Vern from Jersey. What up, Vern? He says, Rel, congratulations. You need to put on your glasses. I'm not sure what he's talking about. That's Vern from Jersey. Loose neck freak offside. Gimp the pimp. Talking about Kirk Cousins. So my brother couldn't make it today. He had something going on with his kids, Ryan Stewart, and he has given this name to Kirk Cousins, the Gimp. I don't think it's politically correct, but it is what it is. He's throwing it out there now. People are kind of adopting it. But once again, Kirk Cousins looks like to me that it's really probably just a mindset thing in a situation where he has to feel comfortable and feel like that he's not going to re-injure the Achilles because he's looked better and better week in and week out to me. He's having a little bit more and more mobility week in and week out to me. Right.
I mean, Kirk Cousins didn't play great. 21 to 35, no touchdowns. It's not great. He did have the 1 pick, but he only got sacked 1 time. And he managed the game. Well, I mean, you can get your kicker in field goal range and you trust your kicker. And like I said, Younghoe Koo was, 58 yarder to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was amazing today. And so
Yeah.
if you could just sometimes as a quarterback, you always like a guy who's a game changer. But to be a great quarterback, at some point you have to know how to manage a game. And that's what Kirk Cousins was able to do today. He was able to manage the game so that the Falcons can win by 2 points. And that's all you got to have. You just need to have one more point than the other team to win.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a crazy statement. And you're watching the Two Live Stews Falcons wrap up. Atlanta Falcons get the win 26-24 over the division rival, the New Orleans Saints. This is going to sound crazy, me saying this, but I want to get your thoughts on this, man. As far as consistency and making plays for the team, Koo is probably the most consistent best player on this 55-man roster over the last couple of years. And I know that's crazy talking about a kicker.
It's not crazy.
But the guy is where we go to where we need points. He's pretty much guaranteed for the most part. We can depend on him. The Falcons can depend on Koo. There's a lot of guys come through here over the last couple of years. The roster's always turning over. Guys are always coming and going. But Koo is butter. He's solid. He's going to be there for you when you need him.
He's very solid. I mean, we got to give some credit to some credit to the defense for, like I said, they had the Troy Anderson with the pick six after Matt Judon tipped the ball up and you got your pick six. The Falcons held them on, for the most part, held them on third down. They went for it twice on fourth down. We held them on fourth down. So, I mean, the Falcons defense did enough. I mean, they got gashed in the running game all day. And like you said, when Taysom Hill left the game, that kind of helped them. So, they got to look at some of that. But as far as the pass defense, I think the pass defense was decent. It was decent enough to keep the Falcons in the game.
Yep. What'd you see? Were you at the game, Ron Lee? Nadi, so what if your favorite player went to the Cowboys or the Saints? Would you root for them?
Alvin Kamara from the A. I pull for Alvin Kamara, but I'm not pulling for the Saints. Like I said, it's already been bred in me.
It's a difference, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just bred in me. I was a Falcon fan for so long, die hard. I mean, when they beat Minnesota that year to go to the Super Bowl, I cried, man. Tears of happiness. Like, but I grew older.
And your ass cried again when they lost the game. Though.
When they lost, I was upset. But I got older and I read a lot, and I started to realize that I was a victim of the programming that that a lot of us are under. So I had to kind of check myself, So it is what it is.
A lot of people have that issue, man, that have a team that they root for that's not been successful. They got a decision to make. They got a decision to make whether they want to be loyal hometown fans or they don't want to take the abuse anymore. Rel Scott, Falcons have to run the ball more with Algier. He averaged 4.6 yards a carry. He had dudes out there making business decisions. And he's a hoss. He runs the ball like a freaking animal.
Oh, man. He did.
Yeah.
He has some big plays.
He's not flashy like Bijan, but you need them tough yards in this game, man.
And they had to have him today because he made a couple plays on third down where, I mean, you got to get into field goal range.
Yeah.
And Algier helped the Falcons get in field goal range plenty of times when their back was against the wall because the Falcons didn't go for it on fourth down at all today. But on third down, he made some huge third down plays where he was breaking 1 and 2 tackles. He's just running through people, having his jersey almost ripped off his back, and he's still making the play. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Reggie Spencer, best game Anderson played. I was ready for him to sit, talking about the linebacker. Let's see. Loose neck, freak offside. When you're down with the Stews, when you're a Cowboys fan and a Falcons wrap-up show, the Two Live Stews and Southern Edge for the win. Yes. SouthernEdgeBeverageCO.com. We'll give them a quick plug. SouthernEdgeBeverageCO.com. Check out the website. Click on the QR code, and you'll get a small gift from the Stews, okay? Sweet tea-flavored vodka, salted caramel-flavored whiskey. SouthernEdgeBeverageCO.com. SouthernEdgeBeverageCO.com. Kerry Porter says, congrats to the Falcons. Now enough of the Saints hype. Yeah, the Saints started off. Remember, they went 2 weeks in a row and scored every possession that they had. Yeah. They've cooled off over the last couple of weeks. Right now, they're 2-2. Falcons 2-2. This thing is all squared up in the division. So, yeah, big game. Tampa Bay coming up this coming week for the Falcons. So, a lot of things may shift this coming week as well. Don't have to worry about the Carolina Panthers. I haven't looked at the updated scores today and seen what the Panthers are doing, but not worried about them at all. Clearly, they have a lot of issues going on.
You should be worried about the Carolina Panthers.
Did Carolina win today?
No, they playing the Bengals. The Bengals played well, but Carolina didn't play bad. Andy Dalton is moving the ball, man.
That's right.
They showed us that. A lot of people tried to, jump on, take up for Bryce Young. Oh, he has nothing around him. And no, actually, the problem seems to have been Bryce Young. So
you're exactly right.
Making it happen.
I forgot all about Andy Dalton. So right now they're down 34-24 though in this game against the Cincinnati Bengals. But last week, you're right, he did have a big game in his first start as Bryce Young does go to the bench. I do think Bryce Young can play the game. I question whether he'll ever get another opportunity to play, to be a starter. We've talked about that on the show. By the way, the Two Live Stews Experience, Mondays and Thursdays at 7 a.m. Mondays and Thursdays at 7 a.m. If you've never heard the show, you need to. We have a great time. We get real live. We have a lot of fun. We talk about sports, pop culture, all these other things we got going on. We have a lot of fun. So you can check out the show right here where you're watching right now, probably 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com, or 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com. From Ron Lee, life without Aaron Donald off rough, losing in the lowly Bears is going to be a losing year. Oh, the Bears get a win today?
Yeah,
okay.
The Bears defense is tremendous.
Right. So Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I mean, no, Caleb Williams plays offense. He's not tremendous, but the defense is amazing. And they were able to turn the ball over, get the Rams to turn the ball over. Plus, the Rams were without their two top guys and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. So, Matthew Stafford is relying on Tutu Atwell. The tight end has played decent. Parkinson's. You got Whittington, who's coming in as a rookie. So it's like he doesn't really have his guys. But man, that defense for Chicago, they've been lights out all year.
Okay, so we haven't done a show since Thursday night. The Falcons the Cowboys took on the New York Giants. They win actually on the road. I think both me and Ryan picked that game. We picked the Cowboys because at some point they had to get a win. The Texans get a big win today over the Jaguars, 24-20. Buccaneers over the Eagles, 33-16. What's going on in Philly?
Well, Philly got the same issue that the Rams got. When you down Devontae Smith, who got a concussion last week, and A.J. Brown, he's been out for a few weeks, and he'll probably be out another couple weeks. I mean, you got guys coming out the practice squad. Paris Campbell came out the practice squad. He did score a touchdown today. But that along with Jalen Hurts patting the ball, and they're hitting you, and you dropping the ball. Man, he pooped all over the field today. Jalen Hurts pooped all over the field today. It's Tampa Bay, which with the Falcons, I think they got next week. Tampa Bay is problems, man.
Hey, the Colts get a big win over the Steelers, 27-24. We mentioned earlier Justin Fields, and you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience. Justin Fields, they were actually down, I believe, 17-3. Final score in this one, 27-24. Justin Fields, numbers-wise, if Ryan were here, he would talk about numbers. His numbers weren't bad, 22 of 34, over 300 yards, 1 TD. But I promise you it wasn't as pretty as those numbers said. A lot of times what happens is teams run prevent, and a lot of gaps are open up so you can get the passing game going. So Steelers 3-1 right now. Justin Fields, I don't think that there's going to be too many complaints about him. They get a loss today to the Colts. The Bears 24-18 over the Rams, as we just mentioned, and the Bengals 34-24 right now, or a winner over the Carolina Panthers, and the Broncos get it done over the Jets 10-9.
Let me say this about Justin Fields, man. He tried to put the team on his back, but George Pickens had a play. He just fumbled the ball. He tried to make a play and held the ball in one hand, and the defense came and got it. It was a big play in the game. And also, you got to shout out to Joe Flacco, because Joe Flacco came in when Richardson got hurt, And that just changed the game around. I mean, I really think Flacco is a better quarterback than Richardson at this point. And without that switch, if Richardson had stayed in the game, Pittsburgh would have won that game. I have no doubt in my mind. But Joe Flacco came in up and showed some veteran gall.
Right. I mean, which he's been doing the last couple of years. He's come in for teams and in a situation with injury and just balled out of control like a true veteran.
Right.
I didn't even know he was on the roster. I didn't know he was on the roster for the Colts. So good stuff for them. And this Richardson kid, man, golly. What was the injury he sustained? Do you know?
He had a hip injury, and he tried to come back in for one play, but then they ended up taking him out, and he was out for the rest of the game. He's an athletic quarterback with a huge arm. I mean, he could throw the ball 70 yards down the field.
Got a cannon.
He's not a good quarterback.
Not right now. He's struggling right now.
Good. His intermediate throws aren't good.
It's
all or nothing.
I watched one of the pregame shows, and you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience, the wrap-up show for the Atlanta Falcons. They get it done. A big win today, 26-24 over the division rival, the New Orleans Saints. They threw out a stat, and I can't remember exactly which commentator it was. Richardson has started 20 games since he was in high school, since he left high school. Okay, so that's talking what he did when he was at Florida. Very few starts there. So really, he got drafted on talent. He got drafted on what he did at the combine and throwing those, the dude's got a cannon. Once again, you mentioned that. So he got drafted off of potential, off of talent. Rooting for the young man, obviously. I'm going to do that no matter what. But yeah, right now he's running too much, trying to run over linebackers, getting these little knick-knack injuries.
Correct.
Missed so much of last year because of the same thing. I hope he can turn it around. I hope he can kind of, focus and turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he turns it around too, because right now he looks like a mobile Jeff George.
Right.
And we know what happened to Jeff George. He got ran out of town.
You're watching the Two Live Stews Experience, the wrap-up show, the Falcons wrap-up show. Me and the Naughty Dread joining me today. Ryan is out, but we'll be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning we do the show at 7 a.m., We'll go to 7:30, maybe, or not 7:30. We'll go to 8:30, and maybe even a little bit longer because so much things went on this past weekend. Real quick mention of what happened last night. Maybe one of the most amazing games I've ever seen in my life. And we're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Georgia was getting thrashed.
Right.
That's the best word I could come up with. Getting thrashed in the first quarter. Was the score 28-0 in the first quarter?
Yeah, I mean, it was, at one point it was 30-7. I stopped watching the game. It was 30-7. I was like, I'm done.
Unbelievable. And Georgia comes back and is in position to win this game.
Right.
But
I saw none of that.
They don't. What are your thoughts about Milroe? And we'll talk about this tomorrow morning a little bit more in depth. And then we'll move back to the Falcons. One of the draft gurus on ESPN, Phil Yates. His name is Phil Yates. Excuse me. Phil Yates says that the game last night that Jalen Milroe had might have made him the number one pick in this coming NFL draft.
Man, he was amazing. He was running the ball. He was throwing the ball. I mean, he made some precise throws, some precision throws on the money. I like him. After the game, I said, after the half, actually, because like I said, it was 30-7. I was like, I'm done.
Right.
I saw enough. I was convinced that he was a top 5 pick. I said this guy's gonna be an early round quarterback. I mean, I like him a lot. I like him. I like him better than.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like him a little bit better than I like the quarterback in Colorado.
Shador.
Right.
So that's what I was going to bring up. And you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience, the wrap-up show, the Falcons wrap-up show. Falcons get it done beating the New Orleans Saints today. That's what I was going to mention. So I'm always rooting for the black quarterback. I don't give a damn what nobody say.
Correct.
Because of their plight, because of what they've been through to get to this position. And so you can book it. You can book it with the talk of Jalen Milroe, and I'm probably going to repeat a lot of this tomorrow. With the talk of Jalen Milroe possibly being a number one pick, he probably won't be a number one pick. You know, he might not. But Jalen Milroe,
right?
Yeah, you got Jalen Milroe. You got Jalen Milroe. You got Shador. You got Cam Ward.
Yep,
You got
yep.
3 guys that are definitely going somewhere in the first round. Some team's
Right.
going to pick them to be their starting quarterback. That's a win. That's a win for the culture. I love it.
Well, and that's how it's been for the past few years. I think the door has been open, and now guys are
Yes.
coming in and they're enjoying the comforts of the house. You
Absolutely.
know, and that's why a lot of people don't get it. You know, we got a lot of old heads who are upset when you criticize a black quarterback. Well, that's
Right.
the league now.
Right.
You got to criticize. It's fair game. They're in the league. They get money. They have high expectations a lot of times. So when the guys don't play up to par or don't play up to where they were picked, you criticize them. That's just how it goes.
Nah,
I mean,
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna criticize.
There's too many black quarterbacks not to criticize one.
Here's the thing.
All
Here's
of them
how-
not playing well.
Here's how I feel about that, and I think I said something to this effect last week. They've got so many other people in media and mainstream media that is criticizing them. I'll let them do that. It's
Well,
almost
I mean,
it's that thing where if I don't have nothing nice to say about a black quarterback, I just won't say anything at all.
well, I mean, when I say criticize, you got a right to criticize their game if you want to be a part of the unbiased media. You know,
Yeah,
Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. You seen him throw Daniel Jones miss against the Cowboys. Now the wide receivers dropped some balls, but he had 2 balls that if he put enough air under them, they beat the Cowboys. Daniel Jones did not play well. I got a right to criticize Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter the color. It matters how did you play? Did you perform up to par?
That's fine. Hold on. That's fine. But we're not columnists. We're talk show hosts. We're sports talk guys.
I'm a guy that calls like I see it, Doug. That's what I do.
That's fine.
It's fair game for anybody. We're in the room now.
And that's totally up to you. But I do criticize, when they make or do have bad games or, the obvious. But I'm not going to go above and beyond to criticize a black quarterback when they have so many other people that's doing it already. Yeah.
You can't, because it's too many. Right now, the black quarterbacks are dominating the league.
Yes. Next year, there'll be if the 3 names that I just gave you just now. Right. Next year, I think that's going to take the number to about 18, which is going to be more than half the teams in the NFL.
Correct.
Yeah. You're watching the 2 Live Stews Experience. Doug Stewart, Naughty Dread joining me today. Ryan is not here, but he will be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. where we will have the 2 Live Stews Experience.
Right. Now, I mean, it's to a point now where it's so good. We got backup black quarterbacks. When I was coming up, if the quarterback was black and he couldn't start, he definitely can't back up. Mm-hmm. We're not giving the guy money to hold a clipboard. Now we got guys getting money to hold a clipboard.
From the great Jungle Brother, he says, criticize a white quarterback for a change. Don't be like everyone else in the media.
Yeah, I just criticized Daniel Jones, and then Aaron Rodgers. You can see he lacks all his mobility now, which is why the Denver Broncos were able to come in and beat the Jets today, because Aaron Rodgers just can't move.
He is 24. Go ahead. No,
he got beat by a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, who he hasn't been great.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of scoring in that game.
Right.
Rodgers went 24 for 42. But it goes back to that whole, he had the whole Achilles injury as well. Like I've always thought that when you have a torn Achilles, like I don't see how you can ever be right. If you grab that little Achilles back there, like that's a very, very important part of you walking and a much bigger part of you running. And if that's damaged, I think psychologically, man, you're never going to be the same. I think Dan Marino had the same injury to end his career, or kind of, was the catalyst to ending his career as well, man. That Achilles is a tough injury, man.
Right. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you watch the game day, Aaron Rodgers might as well be Kirk Cousins as far as the mobility go. I mean, he tried to have a couple plays where you could see him roll out and he's trying to get down the field, but after he get 1 or 2 yards, he just goes out of bounds, man. He just don't got it.
Rel Scott, why is Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball 42 times in the storm? Bo Nix is 29 years old. I actually enjoyed Daniel Jones Thursday night. Rel, go Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys get a win. We mentioned that earlier. So, yeah, lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, what we do is Balls and Busters, and what that is game balls and goats. We came up with the cute name, Balls and Busters, probably 15 years ago or so. And so tomorrow morning on the show, the Two Live Stews Experience at 7 a.m., bright and early and on time. Come and join us. Pass the word. Tell people about the show. You can check out the show on 2LiveStews, Facebook.com or 2LiveStews, YouTube.com. All right, Nadi. So wait a minute. 4-8. We pretty much got a quarter of the season out of the way for the Falcons. What are they playing? 17 games now?
17 games.
Yeah. So almost, pretty much we've got a quarter of the season out of the way. What's your thoughts on the Falcons so far, man? What you've seen, what you like, what do we have to address? And I say we. What does the team have to address, man, in this second quarter? Fourth of the quarter.
Right. I told y'all last week when the Falcons lost to the Saints. I mean, not the Saints, to the Kansas City Chiefs. I said I'm encouraged by what I saw. The Falcons played well against the Chiefs. They were a non-pass interference call away from actually knocking off the Chiefs. The Falcons have a very solid defense, in my opinion. They got a stud on every level, whether you're talking about Jesse Bates and Simmons on the back end with Terrell. You got Caden Ellis in the linebacker. You got Matthew Judon, Grady Jarrett on the line. I mean, they have a solid defense. The special teams game is good. And the offense is going to continue to get better as the season goes. Kirk Cousins, like you said, he's coming off the Achilles. As he get more and more comfortable, Bijan is going to do his thing. Algier is going to do his thing. You got Mooney. You got London. Kyle Pitts, we're going to find out if he's any good or not this year. Because right now, he's supposed to be a lot better than what he is, but you still have him out there as a threat. So I think the offense will get better as they move along. I think the Falcons going to be all right. I still think they're going to win the NFC South.
All right, Arley World is joining us. Arley, how are you?
What up, Arley?
Rise up with that big jersey.
Right? Or is that Bijan?
I sit alone in a what is that? What's the Ghetto Boys?
I sit alone in the room staring at candles.
That's how I feel right now. That's why it's dark in here. I'm mad. I'm MAD. I didn't see the game. I went meet my cousin who was in town from Memphis.
What do you mean? Wait. What do you mean you mad? Why are you mad?
I thought the Falcons, the Saints was walking down the street cheering. Didn't we lose?
No,
we
won.
Yes.
Listen, it was a minute and 54 seconds left, and it said 24-23. And I was like, how we lose it?
We kicked a 58-yard field goal. Yeah. Look at that, Arley.
I was going to go back and watch the highlights so I could be mad, for real, but I get to talk junk. Y'all know I went to Xavier, and they come for me every year. I be praying that we win.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. Let me introduce you. So joining us right now is Arley Michelle. She has the Arley Report on the Two Live Stews show every time we have an episode, Monday and Thursday, 7 a.m. And she went to school in Louisiana, from Mississippi, but lives in Atlanta. So you're a Falcon fan. You got on a Vic jersey. So you were in the game, or were you just tailgating?
No, I was trying to get down at the tailgate and hang out, but I had to go to church and sing to Jesus this morning, and it just threw everything else off. So,
okay. Yeah, the Falcons won. They kicked the last 2 seconds left on the clock. They kicked the field goal.
We won by 2 points.
We won by 2 points, yes.
Oh, because when I looked at the score, it said a minute and some change left. And I was like, how did we get down? We were up like 21 to something. What did I miss? And the people in the streets, because I was over there off Edgewood, I'd gone to Slutty Vegan. Shout out to Slutty Vegan, Rock, Pinky Cole. I'd never been. My cousin wanted to go. And
they got a good ass burger.
They do.
To be vegetables.
Today.
Yeah, that banana pudding is pretty good too.
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't have it over there. That's the one on Edgewood, must be a smaller like menu. Nonetheless, all these Saints fans coming down the street, and I said, these ninjas must have won, because they yelling, because all I had was I didn't have it.
Look at your subtitle, the fuck Falcons.
Right. I was mad. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and change it. I'm gonna have to change it.
Yeah, the Falcons gonna win. They get a big win. So yeah, you got the Vic jersey on. I was about to say, I wanted to ask you, how was your experience if you go down to that Mercedes-Benz Stadium with a Michael Vick jersey on?
But I do wear anytime I go, I have on Michael Vick, and people, it's a bunch of Michael Vick.
It's still one of the best jerseys in the. I mean,
I ain't wearing that other foolish.
Outside of that Deion jersey, that Mike
Man,
Vick jersey is the best jersey to
quick,
have.
So quick story, and you're watching Du's experience. After the whole Vic thing, the whole Vic saga that went down, and he went to jail and all of that.
Yes.
We were doing a live remote at Falcons training camp at Flowery Branch. I wore a Vic jersey. I knew it was gonna piss some people off. I wore a Vic jersey. This was like 2 years later, maybe. Okay. When I tell you, certain folks, how Arley do it, certain folks gave me the eye like they wanted to kill me. And a couple even sucked their teeth at me.
How dare you? Now, if he had killed a little kid, they wouldn't have cared that much. But
they wouldn't have cared. A little black kid, they wouldn't have cared a damn bit.
I mean,
exactly.
Sometimes children just things happen. That dog, we're gonna talk about that all day long.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Arley, back. They still mad. So, Arley, the Falcons win. They had Bone Crusher down there. The reason we won is because Bone Crusher was there. Never scared.
We ain't never scared. What? We ain't never scared. What? I got a whole different. I rode home all the way down and just mad. I was like, these fools about to start texting me, and I could hear my phone going. I was like, they texting me some BS. I don't feel like
for no reason.
Y'all don't understand. It is when I used to go to school and I would put on my Falcons shirt, and I was at Xavier. The people that worked at the school, other people, they were mad for real. Like I was gonna get a check, or they were getting checked. It was that serious, and I didn't realize the rivalry was that serious when I was like 18 years old.
Right.
So when I realized it was serious, I was scared to wear my Falcon stuff because you in who that they were losing then.
Right. Those people down there, those people down there kind of unstable. First of all,
baby,
so yeah, I wouldn't want no problems out of Saints fans.
That's why when the lady was walking and I peeked around the corner to see who was hollering, and I saw it was these 3 girls, and they had on them tennis skirts that everybody wearing now with some matching Saints socks and a big old. One of them had on a real cute jersey that was like bedazzled. I was like, oh, you don't want to mess with them because them kind of girls fight and they dresses. They don't care.
Them kind of girls fight.
Them girls will fight you in their dress.
They got a certain look.
It's a look. And she was walking down the street yelling at the top of her lungs in Atlanta on Edgewood. Who that talking about beating them Saints? Who that? And
the Saints have some very passionate fans, but
they're very passionate. They're very belligerent
nice
too.
Yeah, they
I love them.
Too.
I love New Orleans. It's one of my favorite cities in the entire world. Like for real. I ain't been that many places, but it's still one of my favorites. I love it.
From Jungle Brother, Cartoon Network is live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium showing fans haul off goalposts. They're worse than Cowboys fans. Wait a minute.
No, they're not worse than Cowboys fans.
That can't be.
Nobody's
Cowboys fans are the worst.
Well,
LA
Raiders.
I'll say they're the most delusional. They're not the worst. They're very loyal fans.
Oh, they are loyal.
They're just delusional.
Them Eagle fans like that. Them LA Raiders.
Now, Eagle fans are the worst.
Who fans are the worst?
The Eagles. Them folks boo Santa Claus, man.
Man.
I mean, you got a jail at the bottom of their stadium.
Oh, they used to.
They should.
You've heard me and Ryan's story, right? About Philadelphia, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, maybe we'll tell it one day this week. I mean, yeah, we almost had to throw skulls, man, several times. Want to know
why the Falcons haven't retired Vic Jersey? It's not going to happen ever.
It's not going to happen ever. You have to be here. You have to be here to understand that tension.
It was
from people that once again, if he would have killed a child, it would have been less repercussion than what he did in killing dogs.
Correct,
and that's a fact. And I hate to even get into that, but if you're here and you understand how much of a tenuous, attention-filled subject that is, you'd understand.
You can't even and what's so sad about it is, most people they're always talking about redemption and people. The dude served his time. He has paid his debt to society. Them people won't.
Oh, man, I love you. You would have worked very well on the show back 15 years ago.
Them folks were good. And what I'm really mad about, let me just tell you, I got friends like Jamal Lewis when he got in trouble and whatever. But let me I think I'm supposed to put a legend in front of this. He did get in trouble, but I know people. And what Vic fans should have, what his boys should have done was like, dog, let us take this for you, bro. I'll go do this.
Right. We said that too.
Making your money, taking care of us. Give me a cool meal or two.
Marcus should have took that rap. Right, Marcus.
Yeah, but you got to understand that Mike Vick wasn't the sharpest pencil in the box, and none of the people around him were sharp either. And so that's what happens.
What's the word? What's the word when you get a second chance? What's the word?
Redemption.
Redemption. Vic is the ultimate redemption story. This ninja is on TV doing analyst work, and he's commercials and hosting shows on Netflix or Peacock or whatever it is about the black quarterback, man. But yeah, it's funny how redemption works, or it's funny how redemption works when you don't like the person or you don't like what the person did. Like there's certain levels of redemption, evidently.
Right.
And I didn't mean to get into this conversation, but hell, it's Atlanta, and you got on a big jersey, so you participated in the conversation, precipitated. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of well, we know what's going on in the media with P. Diddy. We don't got to name it, but a lot of people don't even understand that Vince McMahon is going through sexual trafficking as well. But nobody is not talking about, and Vince McMahon is not in jail.
Right.
Right. So I mean, they treat people different however they want to treat them.
Yeah. They treat
Arley.
people how they want to treat them. Absolutely. That's the
And then they
correct way to
create the narrative so that we all go along with it. There was that whole, and I said this then, and I'm gonna say it again. And Ryan was like, "You got a heart the size of a Volkswagen," but that was all purposeful for us. You ain't care if he beating up black women. You don't care. You ain't cared since he did it back in whatever year he did it. All of a sudden, so that you can get everybody on your side, we got to start showing this video. And I'm not saying that's not wrong. What you did is wrong. And people try to make it the same story.
Right.
You are wrong.
Right.
What you did in 20, whatever year that was.
Right.
But the reason y'all trying to give it to me now is not for the reason you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
I don't like to be fed that way.
And two things with that. I mean, once again, we talk about redemption. We're talking about forgiveness. He asked for forgiveness. He apologized for the whole Cassie thing. Once again, I'm not absolving him from anything dealing with that. Okay. But you also have to remember, that's not even one of the charges for Puff Daddy.
Nope.
That's not one of the charges.
Why y'all even give him? Why you showing? Yeah. Why I need to even know that? Like that's tainting the evidence. You're tainting the evidence.
And I hate getting to this conversation this early because it's going to be a lot more to come out on this story, a lot more evidence. Correct. You see where the prosecution is going to take their case. But you know, it's very interesting how these things just fall into place like this. Let's just put it like that.
So this is exactly why, coming back to the whole Mike Vick thing, where Brett Favre can steal money from
$70+ million. Yeah.
Right. From poor people.
And everybody
got Parkinson's and everybody's sad for him.
Right. We didn't forgot what he did. 70-some million. You know how many people that could have fed?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That wasn't 777.
Right.
7,000.
So his daughter can have a volleyball facility. Well, why don't you take the money out your own pocket? All that money the NFL paid you.
Because it's greed.
And use that money.
It's greed, and they thought they could get away with it.
Right.
The reason why everybody do something screwed up. Yeah, yeah.
But Mike Vick, we're going to crucify him.
But guess what? Brett Favre, his jersey is going to be retired in Green Bay. Yep. He'll be in the Ring of Honor in Green Bay. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame. He's going to get all of that. Mike Vick.
All of that.
From children that had, I wonder what would happen if he killed a dog or stole money from dogs.
It wouldn't have been no different. Remember when the whole Mike Vick thing came around, Brett Favre actually, being from the South, he was, he didn't defend Vick, but he was like, that's what we do in the South.
You better believe some damn dog fighting going on in Brett Favre hometown in Mississippi.
Dog fighting, pickle fighting.
Cock fighting too.
And he from around the street from where I'm from. So he ain't but like I think he's from Hattiesburg. It's like 45 minutes from where I'm from.
Right.
Child, I know what they're doing down there, baby. Please, they all kind of fighting.
Arley, I love you. I love you. You bring the Vic conversation into the show. But let's get back on track. The Falcons win. The Falcons get a big win. They're now 2-2, right at the top of the NFC South division. I'm assuming with the New Orleans Saints, and I can look at where we're at right now and everything with the standings. But big win. How was your experience down at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium? I'm not saying Georgia Dome like I did the first week.
It's always gonna be there for me. Just like I still call it Phillips Arena. I can't Phillips it.
Yeah. So right now, Tampa Bay is obviously ahead in the division. They've only got the one loss, 3 wins to 1, and then the Falcons and the Saints are tied for second place. And I think, because the Falcons beat the Saints, they have the tiebreaker. And technically, it's only 4 games but they're second in division right now, only one game behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, that's what's up, man. So let me read a couple more messages in the chat room from Loose Neck Freak Outside. Take that change. Got to protect the bag. From Rel Scott. Fans are the most annoying fans in sports. Trust me, I'm married to one. So Rel is a longtime listener. Shouts out Rel Scott. He's in Philly. He's from Philly, but he's a Falcon fan. So he's been listening to the show forever and ever and ever. And I'm pretty sure it's real tough for you. Y'all, Nadi, you wouldn't produce it for us when we were on radio and we went to Philadelphia. We took a group of people with us to Philadelphia.
I'm not sure.
You must not have been. So quick story. We took some sponsor paid for like 10 people to listen to the show, fans of the Falcons. We took a flight to Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Or was it the divisional round? The game where Donovan McNabb or when Brian Dawkins hit Algie Crumpler, almost killed him in Philadelphia.
I remember that. Changed his career.
So we were at that game. We took like 10 listeners with us. We flew up there, and whoever the sponsor was, they paid for the whole thing. Nice hotels downtown. Me and Ryan were warned all week not to wear Falcons paraphernalia up there. We're like, what? Rise up. Rise up. We wearing our Falcon stuff. Damn, now we ain't scared of them. I wish somebody would jump to us. We wore our Falcon stuff. When I tell you, the minute we got out of the van at the stadium till the time that we ran out of there with our tail between our legs, we got harassed, threatened. Somebody actually grabbed Ryan's hat off of his head when we went to go to the bathroom. Oh, yeah. When we had to go we didn't want to go to the bathroom. That's how bad it was. We decided both of us had to pee because we were drinking. We basically went together and held hands back to back. Went to the bathroom, used the bathroom. Coming out of the bathroom, Ryan had on a Falcons hat. Somebody wearing a Philadelphia Eagles polo snatched the hat off of Ryan's head, slapping him in the head. He turns around, pushes the guy, like the guy rolls and falls down. Him and his buddies jump up, headed towards us, and the police step between them. Now, you know they had a jail in between, under you mentioned that earlier. They had a jail underneath the stadium, and the cops jumped in between us, and it's like, come on, fellas, nobody's going to jail today. You want to go to jail today? Nobody, And we got back to our seat. We stayed in our seat. There was a little white boy behind us for the entirety of the game, middle fingering us, throwing up middle fingers us the entire game, and we got out of there with our lives, and we vowed we would never go to Philadelphia again and wear a jersey.
No, you got to, and it's getting serious.
It was bad. It was bad. It was so bad. I'm making light of it, but it was serious. Like, we really felt like that we were going to lose our life that night, possibly.
Right. And it was that bad. That's the scary part. Like, none of them people were going to get any kind of check. They were going to go to jail for hurting y'all, and that's all they don't care.
No, those fans.
My mind.
No. That was at the old Veteran Stadium. Okay, they've moved since, but at the old veteran stadium, jail underneath the stadium, just unruly, drunk Italians. It was mostly Italians for some reason. They must be real thick around there. Drunk Italians threatening our life. I mean, it was just horrible. It was horrible, Nadi.
Right, it's probably one of them mob families.
Yeah, so
the
that's
Corleones or somebody up there.
Right,
man. You gotta watch out.
Corleones, yeah. All right. So we were only going to do an hour today. We will be back in the morning at 7 a.m. Not you got some like exit music you can hit or something like that? There you go. You on point. That's my man's in them. The Falcons, big win today, beating the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, beating the New Orleans Saints 24-22. I believe the final score was
26-24.
I can talk junk.
Huh?
I can talk junk.
Arley up in here thinking the Falcons lost. I'm like, I was like, what? Why does she look like this? What?
I was sitting alone in the fourth corner room staring at candles. I was so sad.
Right. You probably about 30 minutes behind. You supposed to been talking junk.
Yeah.
You didn't now realize you can talk trash.
I know. I got my phone right here. I'm ready. What y'all talking about? Who talking about? I'm ready. I got my fingers ready.
All right. So tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. 2 Live Stews Experience. Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart, Arley, Nadi, Tree, the producer, will be back, and we'll give our balls and busters from this past weekend in the world of sports and entertainment. Arley's got her entertainment report. So a lot of fun. Pass the word. Live. 2 Live Stews, the number 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com, and 2 Live Stews, Facebook.com. Either one, live. All right. We actually come on right at about 6:45 with a little commercials and montage, and me and Ryan start talking exactly at 7 a.m. All right. Nadi, appreciate it. Arley, appreciate it. All right. Peace.
Let's all party. It's time to celebrate.
Falcons win. Falcons win.